Hey, good morning, everyone. Here is the part that we sometimes never seem to have enough time for, which is what is the slideshow actual class that you are supposed to have. So this week is week 5, and what we're really looking at is how to let resistance go, reminding yourself that you're not going to go back to the old way. What we have learned from learning new ways to organize our thoughts and our ideas is that there really is other tools to be utilized. We are using the rapid planning method. We've looked at what are those goals, what are the outcomes. We are very outcome focused in this group. So we have the lists of what that looks like, of how to build those assets and how to build the products that you're looking for. We had some big wins this week from 2 of your team members. We also gave you what were the requirements, who had to do a pitch, what's the expected piece, and it's so good. It's so good. One of the things that, this is actually one of our old assistants, Kirsten, one of the things I'm going to ask you this week is to really do a Google search for yourself and to find out how many images there are of you that are tagged to you and what are the other things that are coming up. So when I did the Google search for myself, it was very clear that I started Google searching each one of you. Some of you have less than 2 content pages, so it's working on that. What is interesting about that search is I found out that I ended up getting an award I didn't know about. So the Women's Press gave me an honorary mention as best financial advisor for women. So sometimes you'll find things in your search that you didn't know were there. So again, we looked through kind of what an RPM would look like, in how you would look at it, right? This is the order in which you're going to be creating them. What are the massive changes? What are the outcomes that you're looking for, the purpose and the action? So it's really saying, look, I want more of this. What are the actions that I'm going to take? So we gave you one that was just randomly one of mine from last year of saying, like, here's the massive change, right? I need bigger pay. And that was important. So last summer, the outcome I was looking for was an extra $30,000 in cash. So that it gives me a timeline. How do I want that? And for me, it's the purpose. What did I want to do that? Well, I had a travel date that I needed to be able to fund. I had some things that I wanted in renovations done. And one of my daughters is getting married at some point here. And I wanted to invest in things that were cultural shifts. So I had to be able to have money to put on the table to do that. And the actions that I had to do is I had to go look in all of my client files and figure out what was missing and what were the sales that I could create instantly. So going into all of those names and really doing the work. So that's the action I had to take to get the massive change that I wanted. So when you're looking at these, you've got to be able to kind of create that. This is just another one that I had done, but it was more around the artwork that I create. And so it's really doing something that was around my art and what I wanted my art to do in the world. So when you look at that, it is just the same piece, right? What's the massive change? What's the outcome? What's the purpose? And what's the action? And for me, it was creating enough art so that it could be sold. And because I had created that last year, I could go back in and look at that goal and really make a decision. What did I want to do? Because I had made that goal for last summer, by the time I came into this calendar year, I was able to complete the task that I had, but now I could build it for my Art for Peace show and invest all of my art into projects and organizations and things that build world peace. And you can pick whatever it is that you want to invest your life into. For me, it was being very direct on how to build peace, really one lifetime at a time. Reminding everyone that we have a resource letter, please utilize it. Shireen had a big win this week, and that was one of the highlights of class. was to showcase how her table looked, what she did, see all the prep work, and how she was pitching. And she was pitching all day. So the other two people that are in this picture behind her are one is somebody from the group and another is someone from another group. So we really have a supportive community around her. What we didn't talk about is Kimberly, and I went through and just picked one of you at random to go through and find out what are the Google images that are out there about you. So your assignment this week is to really go in and identify the images. These are an asset base. For Kimberly, this is an asset that she has, and how is she using that asset and what is there. When we look at the other assignment for you is the accountability partners. What I'd like you to figure out is what you want to be accountable for and how we can do that. The dreams are a design for the work to be done. So when you are thinking about massive change, you're really looking at that dream. You're really looking at what is the dream that you're there. And now we're going to design a work plan to get to that dream. So you have to do the little bits. You and the things that you make and do and say bring that to life. This happens to be a text that came in for me when I was getting ready to prep for your class. It is to remind you that all of the things that you are doing are a huge body of work. And, thank you so much for being you. And I would think about the things that really help you understand the why. And when we talk about brand identity, which is our conversation this week, it's what we'll be sending out to you. It is to really understand not just your outcomes, right, in your goals and what you're building, but to simultaneously look at the work that you're doing and the outcomes that it has for other people. And you'll want to look at the language around describing the emotional gain that you and they get from this exchange. So this is just happens to be something we created for this class, right? It's really cool to have a mystical creature in your corner that loves math and loves you too, right? It kind of explains the Mickey of what is happening and what do they get from the exchange. So when you're thinking about brand identity, it's okay to be a little quirky. It's okay to be interesting, that this is my art, so it makes sense that I use it, but it's to, just look at the things that are the outcomes for other people. This is a picture that I took when I was behind the scenes in some of the work that I do with I Travel. And some of you may recognize this from a story in class, but I want to review week 4, because this is the time, this week is when you're going to see yourself really grow. Right now in this week is when the whole thing flips. And so I want you to think about the 3 words that you want your customers to use when describing you. And so when you think about those words, it is to go, okay, mysterious, funny, humorous, knowledgeable. I would just think about those 3 words. Intrigue and invitation. The question that you're going to want to ask yourself, and this is where you can screenshot, is, right, what are your intriguing facts? And I would just start putting those on a note card set. What are the intriguing facts about you? Many people find the most intriguing fact about me is that I've been doing this work, this one-on-one prosperity-based consultation for 60,000 hours of direct service. Not just did I learn how to do it, that is direct service. That's an intriguing fact. So think about what your intriguing facts are. If you have not tried this activity, I encourage everyone to do it, is to describe your brand or the product that you deliver in a haiku. And that's 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. It is a beautiful constraint. It's just a playful kind of assignment. And it just brings an element of play. What I find for the people who take on this haiku and post it on the Facebook page is that they get really good at it and they start kind of bouncing them around, but it will help you with language. It will help you get untwisted in your tongue about how to talk about what you do. I do want to remind everybody that we do have billing that's going out today, so please pay your bill if you haven't already. And again, we're looking at those promotional materials again, those physical items that you have that you're handing out, and then your virtual marketing materials. Many of you will be talking to each other directly about the marketing materials that you are creating. So think about what it is that are your virtual products, and then as well as your physical products. So think about that when you're making stuff. So marketing tools, it is the list, the list, the list, the list, the list, the list. So make sure that you're building your email list and the list also of who you can text. Many, many more of your sales are going to be coming in texts over the next 10 years, but they're really also going to be coming over the next 1 year. When you think about all of you who are here, the vast majority of you came from a text to your phone. It was a personal invitation. We are writing all of your sales goals to product and then going to marketing. So our sales goal is specific to a product. The class on voice, right? Our goal is for $3,000 of that income. Great. Then we'll build the marketing. Intro class to networking, right? For Kimberly. Great. Let's look at that intro class. Our goal is now $1,000. Let's market to that. But we don't do marketing first on just networking. We go, look, we're going to build all of our marketing specifically to that product. So when we're looking at those of you who are teaching things, who are knowledge workers, we're really looking at what is the product and then how do we talk about that product. You are all magical. That's the great thing about everyone in this group, is that all of you have been a superstar. You are a superstar in spite of everything that else is going on in your world. But I need you to think about, in your brand story, why you're magical. So if I were to ask you, why are you magical? And I would imagine it like a storyline. And sometimes I think the storyline is really helpful to do because it just gives you the ability to pick out things over a long period of time, and you can kind of start slinging them together. Remember, every single one of our product goals this year is met before September. We are trying really hard. There's 2 of you who are going to have to go a little bit further. 3 of you is a maybe, but many of you have products that can be created with sales goals before September. We gave you your pairings this week. Those aren't critical to outcome in this particular video, but remember, you are should have 15 pieces of media completed. This is a photograph I took of one of our last year's people. So, right, we should have media that is created. This was part of my goal of creating art all the time. Trying to prove that you are the best is an insult. So don't ever try to write your content as you being the very best at something. It isn't helpful to what you're trying to grow. You're just trying to talk about your product and the outcomes that people have. We don't care if you're the very best. You don't need to be the very best. You need to be the very most available and the most accessible. Remember that this is, I never underestimate how much work is here. And if you are struggling to keep up, it's okay. But you should be thinking about your pace. It is an everyday item. We are looking to get you started in a way that no one's been able to get you to do before. That's why it's a lot of work. So we are looking for 45 digital assets that are new and that you are creating. Some of you have a much larger requirement. Some of you have more specialized pieces, but we're looking for 45 digital assets. You should have a perfect pitch. We will look at them, they'll tear them apart, you'll rebuild them. Your product outline of everything that you have that's existing. Many of you have truly a treasure trove of things that you've created. We are not looking to create new, we're really looking to mine from the treasure trove that was already there. The new things are aligning it into a product that's available to go. We're here to go. New sales and contracts, we are looking for a value of 7,000 in this 12-week period. So we're looking to have people book. We're looking for people to buy product. We're looking for new customers to come on, but we're looking for that value of 7,000 of income. And then your cash cow defined. We haven't done that yet, but that will come for you. And then your digital and real product for sale. So we should have a absolutely sellable product available for you by the end of this time. So I want to just again say thank you so much for being part of this group. You are amazing, and I'm going to see you next week. Bye.